We continue with algebra review. I probably should have had this in earlier, but that's what happens when you have a new note packet. Definitions, properties of exponents. If you remember, a to the m, if the bases are the same, you add the exponents. With fractional exponents, you would add 1/3 and 4/3. You would get 5/3. Dividing would be you subtract the exponents. So this would be 3/5 minus 1/5, which would be 2/5. So that's what you see as that exponent. Say like this one was 1/3 plus 2/3, 4/3, excuse me, would be 5/3. Power rule, you multiply the exponents. This would be 1/3 times 1/2, which would be 1/6, and you see it's 2 to the 1/6. Power, you multiply, because this is a multiplication. You multiply the a and the m. So you notice this is 9 to the 1/2. This is y to the 1/2. 9 to the 1/2, if you remember, is just the square root of 9, which is 3. 3y to the 1/2. Division or quotient, m and n. So this would be 4/5 to the 1/2. That's 4 to the 1/2, 25 to the 1/2. That's the same as the square root of 4 divided by the square root of 25. That's where they come up with 2/5. And good old negative exponents. If it's a to the negative m, it's 1 over a. This is the same as a to the negative 1 times m. So this is what becomes 1 over a. And then you've got a to the m power, which is 1 over a to the m. 0, a to the 0 is 1, so 5 to the 0 would be 1. Now this right here, 8 to the negative 1/3, that would be 8 to the negative 1 to the 1/3 power, which is, that's where they got the 1 over 8 to the 1/3. 1/3 is just the cube root of 1 over 8, which is 1 over 2. Examples, x to the 1/3 times x to the 1/5. The bases are the same, so you can add the exponents. So that's 1 over 3, 1 over 5. Now, if I look at 1/3 added to 1/5, common denominator is 15. So I multiply this by 5 over 5 and this by 3 over 3. Now that's where they're going to get the 5 over 15 plus the 3 over 15, which then becomes 8 over 15 as your exponent. So this would be 4 over 8, x to the 3/4 minus 7/4, 3/4 minus 7/4, y to the 1/2 minus 2. So 8 and 4/8 is going to be 1/2. 3/4 minus 7/4 is 2/4, or actually it's 4/4. So this is 4/4 negative. So that's where they get the negative 1. This is 1/2 minus 2. Now 1/2 minus 2 over 1. Well, you need to multiply this by 2 over 2. So what you get is 1/2 minus 4/2, which is negative 3/2, which is what you have here. So 1/2, 1 over x to the 1, 1 over y to the 3/2. Now, if you multiply across, it's 1 over 2 times x times y to the 3/2. x to the 4/5 negative raised to the 1/4, y to the negative 7/4 raised to the 1/4. So it's going to be x to the negative 4/5 times negative 1/4. The 4's reduce out, and you're going to have a negative times a negative becomes a positive 1/5. This is going to be negative 1/4, negative 4/7 times negative 1/4. Now, in this case, a negative times a negative is a positive. 7 times 1 is 7. 4 times 4 is 16. So if I look at this, this is 4 times 6 times x to the 1/4 times x to the 3/2. So this is 24 x to the 1/4 plus 3/2. Bases are the same. You add the exponents. Everything needs to be in fourths. So I'll fraction this, make that a 2/2. So this is 24 x to the 1/4 plus 6/4 is going to be 24x to the 7/4. This becomes 54 divided by 6, x to the 3/2 minus 1/3. Common denominator is 6, so this is 3/3. This is 2/2. So 6 goes into 54 9 times. Then this becomes x to the 9/6 minus 2/6. So this is going to be 9x to the 9 minus 2 is 7/6. Now, there are two ways of looking at this, and I could say this is the square root of this whole thing, and that would make life easier. Or properties of exponents would say it would be 100. This is to the 1 power, so this is to the 1/2. X to the 6 times 1/2. Y to the 10 times 1/2. This is the square root of 100. That's 100 to the 1/2. This is x to the 6/2, y to the 10/2. Square root of 100 is 10. 2 divides 6 3 times. 2 divides 10 5 times. Properties of exponents says we're going to multiply them. So this is m to the 7/9 times negative 4/7 divided by n to the 1/4 times negative 4/7, which is m to the negative. Now the 7's reduce out. That's nice and convenient. Negative 4/9. Not so convenient. N to the negative, oh yep, the 4's reduce out, 1/7. So now we can move this to the denominator, move that to the numerator. That's going to make them positive exponents. N to the 1/7, m to the 4/9. And if you need more explanation, then ask me.